factory winch, black off-road wheels, a ZR2 badge on a truck that Chevy wasn't supposed to build this way. What you're looking at didn't come from the standard product roadmap. There's a reason this truck exists, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what Chevrolet was trying to prove. There's one engineering decision buried in this platform that changes the conversation entirely. I'll get to it. And as for whether this is worth your money, my answer is going to surprise you. We're covering the design, the interior, the performance credentials, and something about this project that GM hasn't said publicly. Here's what most people are missing about this truck. The Colorado platform has always been capable, but capable isn't enough anymore. The ZRX changes the question. It's not asking whether it can handle the trail, it's asking whether the truck can think faster than the driver. What I'm told, and take this for what it is that the ZRX carries forward-looking terrain mapping technology integrated directly into the suspension management system. Forward-facing sensors read surface changes 15 feet ahead and adjust each damper preemptively, before wheel contact, not in response to it. That's a meaningful distinction. Reactive suspension corrects, predictive suspension prevents. What stands out to me is that this approach has existed in motorsport for years. Rally cars have used predictive damping concepts across multiple world championship campaigns. Bringing it to a production mid-size off-road truck is a serious leap forward for this segment. Now, a lot of experienced off-road owners will push back on this, and honestly, they've got a point. More technology means more things that can fail at altitude 40 miles from the nearest cell signal. Speculative tech number 1, Predictive Terrain-Reading Suspension. Forward-facing sensors map surface changes 15 feet ahead and adjust each damper preemptively, before wheel contact, not in response to it. The engineering principle comes directly from rally motorsport, where reactive suspension always loses to predictive. Applied to a production mid-size off-road truck, it changes what the driver experiences from correction after the fact to stability from the start. But before we get to that debate, let's step inside, because the interior tells a very specific story about who this truck is really for. Step inside the ZRX, and the first thing you notice isn't a screen, it's the material quality. Dark leather with copper stitching running through the seats, door panels, and dashboard. It's cohesive in a way that feels deliberate, not assembled from a parts bin. The dual ambient lighting system, blue and amber running simultaneously across the dash and doors, isn't purely aesthetic. What stands out to me is that this appears to be the physical expression of something deeper. A drive mode intelligence system that links your profile to vehicle behavior. Select terrain mode and the amber activates, with suspension and throttle calibrated for off-road. Switch to comfort and the blue cools the mood while the suspension softens. It's a small detail. Experienced drivers notice when a vehicle communicates with them, and this one does. Now, I want to be straightforward about this. The infotainment is a large landscape screen, logically laid out, with physical climate controls sitting below it. I consider that the right decision. For anyone who's spent real time in trucks, reaching for a physical knob at 60 miles per hour on gravel is meaningfully safer than hunting a touchscreen submenu. GM got that right. Where I think they missed the mark is the steering wheel. The carbon fiber trim looks excellent, but those stacked thumb controls are going to require a learning curve. If you're coming from a Ram or a Tacoma, expect a week of accidental voice activations. The digital instrument cluster is clean and configurable. This interior doesn't just look premium, it functions like one. But here's what the spec sheet doesn't tell you about how this truck was actually conceived. Here's what I can tell you. This truck wasn't developed by Chevy's domestic team alone. There was a collaboration involved, one the industry didn't see coming. It directly affects what this truck can do that its closest competitors simply cannot. The exterior of the ZRX is purposeful in a way that mid-sized trucks rarely achieve. Those widened fender flares aren't there because someone thought they looked aggressive. They're accommodating a track that's been expanded by roughly 2 inches over the standard Colorado. That matters for stability at speed across broken terrain. The front fascia is organized around air management, with the lower intake channeling air toward front differential and transfer case cooling. The factory-mounted winch sits low and forward, not bolted on as an accessory, but integrated structurally. That integration point suggests reinforced frame rails from the factory, which is a serious commitment for a production vehicle. Ground clearance appears to be in the 10 to 11-inch range based on these proportions, competitive with the Ranger Raptor's 11.8 inches and well above the base Colorado's 8.1. Wheelbase is consistent with the current generation's 128-inch measurement. At the rear, a dual-exit exhaust and a full-width LED tail lamp bar that reads as modern without trying too hard. This design will hold up because every visible element serves a function. That's not common at this price point. But design and engineering mean nothing without the right powertrain. Here's what's under the hood. The ZRX is expected to carry a turbocharged 4-cylinder or small displacement V6, producing somewhere between 320 and 360 horsepower. Positioned directly against the Ranger Raptor's 392 horsepower EcoBoost and the Tacoma TRD Pro's 278 horsepower output. For anyone who's driven a Ranger Raptor off-road, this is going to feel meaningfully different, not because of raw horsepower, but because of how the available power is managed. Speculative tech number 3, predictive torque vectoring. Using wheel speed data, steering angle, and terrain surface inputs, the system distributes torque to individual wheels before wheel spin actually occurs, not in response to it. Combined with the terrain-reading suspension from earlier, this creates a truck that anticipates the trail rather than reacts to it. The engineering logic is borrowed from performance cars. The motorsport precedent exists. Whether GM delivers on it at production scale is the question worth watching. Now, I said my verdict was going to surprise you. Here's why. Here's what I actually think happened, and I'll be completely straight with you. The engineering philosophy in this truck traces back to a development partnership with a European off-road specialist. That's why the suspension reads more like a Defender than a Tacoma. GM is more serious about this segment than most people are willing to admit. The ZRX is expected to sit between $52,000 and $62,000 at the top of the Colorado lineup. A loaded Ranger Raptor runs around $58,000. A Tacoma TRD Pro approaches $55,000. So the ZRX isn't undercutting, but it's not asking for a premium without justification. Where it makes a financial argument is over 3 to 5 years of ownership. The Colorado's proven powertrain history, combined with GM's service network, currently the largest in North America, keeps maintenance costs predictable. That matters when you're writing a real check. But I want to be honest about the trade-offs. The technology density in this cabin requires time. If you're coming from a more analog truck, a Tacoma, an older Colorado, expect a real adjustment period in month 1. And these technologies carry production risk. Concepts and production vehicles don't always share the same level of ambition. Now, the strengths. First, the suspension integration. If the Predictive Terrain-Reading System delivers as designed, it's a capability you simply cannot add in the aftermarket. That has lasting resale value. Second, interior quality. At this price point, it competes with trucks that cost significantly more. Longtime GM truck owners are going to recognize the improvement immediately, and they'll rightfully appreciate it. Third, the factory winch and structural integration. That's a dealer-installed option on most competitors. Here, it's part of the build. Here's the call. If you genuinely use a truck off-road, this is the strongest mid-size option being discussed right now. The engineering ambition is real, and the hardware backs it up. If your primary use is highway commuting and weekend errands, a well-equipped Silverado gives you more truck for similar money. Know what you're buying this for. That factory winch, the thing that stopped your scroll in the first 5 seconds, turns out to be exactly what it looked like. A statement of intent from a manufacturer that's done playing catch-up in this segment. I'd genuinely love to hear from anyone who's spent real time in a Colorado ZR2 or a Ranger Raptor. Your real-world experience matters more than any spec sheet. Colorado ZRX or Ford Ranger Raptor. Same price, same day. Which one goes in your driveway? Drop ZRX or Raptor below. And if you want to see how this compares to the Tacoma TRD Pro, that video's right here. If straight, no-nonsense automotive analysis is what you're after, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.